What is up, Netflix fans? Welcome back to my channel. As always, we're reviewing everything I watch on Netflix, movies and TV shows. I need you guys in the comments down below. How do you feel about the brand new movie, He's All That? This is a spoiler-free review. We're going to talk about it. Please get in that comment section down below, and let's do it. So in this reimagining of 1999's She's All That, teen social media influencer Paget's humiliating on-camera breakup goes viral, leading her to make a risky bet to save her reputation. She swears she can turn scruffy, antisocial Cameron into prom king material, but things get complicated when she finds herself falling for him. Scruffy Cameron. I mean, you can tell right off the bat when you see this guy in the movie. First of all, it's like, oh, that's the guy from Cobra Kai. But he's not a bad-looking dude. He just looks, I don't know, he looks normal to me. They saw him, they're like, oh, nerd. And I'm like, he's a good-looking dude. And I like the actor. Tanner Buchanan's solid. Now, the big talk surrounding this movie is Addison Rae, and I guess we're starting positive here. I don't want to give her a hard time. You know, she's new to the industry, obviously. I don't know that much about her, and I'm not even entirely sure what she does, but, you know, I saw her in this film. I was willing to give her a chance, and I'll be flat honest with you. You know, there's a lot of talk surrounding how bad and you know, just the way that this movie was going to impact me as a film critic. And watching her performance, I'm like, yeah, you can tell she's new, right? There's some moments where she's a bit awkward. There's a dance number. It doesn't really look like she wants to be there. But in general, she actually did better than I thought she would do. I'm sitting back watching. Addison Rae is not the reason why I'm not enjoying this movie. Not at all. So I actually have to give them kudos for a little bit of chemistry showcased and portrayed at the beginning of the movie. You know, some of their interactions are cute, and that's kind of why you're watching this film if you're not the target demographic, and that's, I guess, high school kids and teenagers, right? You're going to be watching this with the mindset of, oh, I expect a lot of cringe. And you get a lot of cringe. All throughout the movie, there's cringe. But when it comes to their chemistry, it was genuinely like, all right. And I'm watching this, I'm like, okay, Addison Rae, you know, it's a start. Tanner Buchanan, obviously, he has the charisma. We know that from Cobra Kai. Matthew Lillard, though, he's not in the movie all that much. Every now and then you get a random announcement from him, and even though it was so unrealistic, his announcements were ridiculous, they were still funny because I'm like, oh, that's Matthew Lillard. And then you get some moments at the end that just, I mean, there's no reason why these moments should be in the film. They make no sense from a screenwriting standpoint. They shouldn't be in there because they're just dumb, all right? But Matthew freaking Lillard, the guy is hilarious. It doesn't matter what he would have done, but what he ends up doing, it took me away from the moment that I was cringing at, and I'm like, oh, I love this guy. And he was easy. I mean, it's 5 minutes, but he's easily the standout of this movie, and I got a lot of joy from those 5 minutes. This is a movie that you can spell out from beginning to end, not only because it's a remake almost in its entirety, just reversed, a remake of the 1999 original, which had some charm to it, absolutely. And you have the writer of that movie returning to write this movie, and then you have the director, Mark Waters, who did Freaky Friday and Mean Girls, 2003, 2004. That was a good 2 years for Mark Waters. So I saw the trailer. I didn't like the trailer, but I said, yeah, this could have some charm to it. And it doesn't. It doesn't have a lot of charm. Now, like I said, I'm not the target audience, so if you're watching this expecting me to, you know, appreciate the symbolism and the themes that it's going for, I don't know what those are. I couldn't figure those out as I was watching the film, but I can't do that. I tried to do that, to get something out of it, but my big issue with this movie, it's not even what a lot of people anticipate going in. It is just, in its entirety, the screenplay and the progression of that screenplay and the fact that it looks like people who wrote this script, this is what they believe that teens do and act like from what you see on the TikToks, but it's not what they do or act like. Now, maybe it's just me going off of what I knew when I was that, and I say that, and you know, it was only, 8 years ago when I was in high school, but now I'm seeing this and I'm like, It all just feels so off and scripted. The interactions are forced, and I get it. You have and it's a pun, me saying this, you have the mean girls in real life. There are a couple of characters in here that are taking advantage of other characters, and they don't necessarily know that they're doing that. But at the same time, you look at our main character here, played by Addison Rae. Paget is doing the whole, we're going to take this guy who's clearly a nerd, even though I didn't see that at all. I'm like, oh, it's, he's just a normal guy. But she's like, no, that is the nerdiest guy I've ever seen. I'm like, I didn't see that. And we're going to use him for our benefit. So right off the bat, you make Paget this character that has an arc, and I'm not going to tell you the arc, because you could guess the arc before watching this movie, but it's compromised by the fact that she is using this guy all throughout the movie. Even the moments where she realizes that what she's doing is wrong, she continues to use him. And again, we've seen this before, but it's all about making that character likable and giving compelling reasoning behind their decision-making, as opposed to this film, where Paget is not the most likable character in the world. And again, I'm not blaming Addison Rae for that. It's more so the script that she's working with. So I didn't love anything about the writing for these characters. And then when they do get together and you finally see that chemistry, something about those scenes either feel rushed or off as I was watching them play out, to where I couldn't really get behind any of those moments. And if you're not invested in the main relationship in what is considered a romantic comedy, then you're not going to like the movie. And the movie's going to hit you in a way that's different than it's going to hit me. Blah, blah, blah. You've heard that before. But I didn't think this movie progressed in a way that was interesting, likable, compelling. And I was just kind of wincing throughout the entire movie because, again, the actions of almost everyone in the film, whether it be the fight between Cameron and Jordan and the way that Jordan acts like this cartoon character, or the dance at the end of the movie. It's like this entire movie is obviously building to a moment between our main two characters, and you can see that moment coming from a mile away. But beyond that, they had to include a dance of some sort, because I think that's what Addison Rae does on TikTok. Again, I don't know. But it came out of nowhere. It just felt like it didn't belong within the confines of what this story was trying to do, and it lasted so long. I was down here watching it in my space, and my wife came down, and she's like, "How long has that been going?" I'm like, "I don't know. It's still happening. Like it's probably still. Look, you can't see it, but it's still going." And some people really wanted to be there, like they're just like, and then other people were just like. Now, again, when Matthew Lillard comes in and he gets in on the action, I'm just like, okay, this made the movie worth watching. But did it? And Madison Pettis' character, lovable Madison Pettis. Her character in Alden, everything about her was overdone, the overreacting, and I like her. I like a lot of people in this cast, and that's the thing is, it's so hard to sit here and talk about a movie like this, just not really liking anything about it other than Matthew Lillard, and to do what I'm doing. But in terms of criticizing, the screenplay is just so forced and predictable, and the writing is bad, and the movie has that look to it. Even going all the way back to the 1999 version, there's something about the feel and the nostalgic look to that movie. Yet here, they're obviously playing up social media. It's a big influence on this movie, but nothing about it seemed legitimate. And even getting into, oh, well, you're not good enough for us. Your mom's a nurse. And looking at where they lived and whatnot. I mean, the girl's bringing home a $3,000 check. A lot of adults don't see a $3,000 check, and it's like, it's just not good enough. That's how the movie, portrays it. And I get it. Some people actually have that mentality, and the movie does say, that's not a good mentality to have. But just as it played out, I don't know if I bought it on the level that they wanted me to buy it, on the degree that would have made me enjoy this movie. So once I realized what I was in for, and kind of seeing all of my predictions here and here, scene by scene, come to light, and in the end, it's just so like, and I'm sure they had a good time making this movie, but unfortunately, I didn't have a good time watching it. And this isn't me saying, well, you shouldn't have remade the original. I don't have a significant amount of nostalgia for it. It's more so just the fact that this film, it struggles with telling a story that is even moderately compelling, which was my big issue with the film, and I'm going to leave it at that. So thank you guys so much for watching. I appreciate it big time. Sorry for the negativity. I hate reviews like this, but I have to be honest with you guys. My score, really quickly, it's a 10%. I didn't think this movie worked for what it was trying to do. And that's my review. So thank you guys so much for watching this video. I appreciate it. More reviews to come. But the thing is, if you disagree with me, please let me know down below. Did this movie work for you? If it did, that's absolutely okay. You guys are the best. I'll see you soon.